Hi guys! Today I'm going to show you how to do a nice smooth transition of colors and how to get extra semitones using basic colors. We also are going to learn a little bit about composition, perspective and lighting. So I choose this landscape as reference for today's session. And as you can see, it consists of three main objects. It's the sky, the water and the mountain between them. And as you can see, the sky is quite bright and colorful and reflects in the water, which represents exactly the same colors as the sky. As for mountains, they look quite dark and fuzzy because it's quite late night time, probably time just before the sunrise. So, and as for brushes, I'm going to use round brush number 4. You can choose this one or number 2, it's also okay. And for the main background, I'm going to use bigger brush, flat brush. It can be number 10 or number 14. Again, up to you. As for me, I'm going to use number 10, I think. So just decide a little bit later. As for colors, as for paint, I'm going to use red, blue, yellow, a little bit black and white. As usually, water and napkin. And let's get started. So I put some red paint, some yellow, also blue into my palette. As we know that acrylic paint dries very fast, I don't put too much paint at once. I can add it later just to avoid wasting, to avoid drying up. And also probably, yeah, it's enough for beginning. I use brush number 10, I wet it, wipe it, and I grab a little bit red. And I'm gonna start with red. So I just wanted to separate my canvas to 2 parts. Just decide where the sky and the water will be. So I do the horizontal line a little bit lower than the middle part of my canvas over here, and I start to spread this red horizontally, moving my brush horizontally from left to right, and also moving this brush up and down, so I can get nice red stripe, about 4 centimeters wide, I think so. If you feel that your brush is quite dry and it's hard to move it, you can wet it a little bit, but don't do too much water over here. For now, I'm starting to mix yellow to my red. I don't wash my brush, I just grab some yellow I have here, and I start to move it over here, mixing up on the canvas, getting nice orange semitone. The same with the upper part. Probably I need more yellow over here. At this stage, I'm gonna wash my brush, because I wanted also to have not only mixtures but also pure, clean colors. I wipe my brush and I continue doing these yellow stripes, trying to mix it smoothly to my orange. So I move my brush a little bit higher and also a little bit lower. Be sure that you still have not only transitions, but also you have nice yellow color on your canvas. The same from the upper part. I also have about 3-4 centimeters wide stripe of yellow over here, which is mixing up together with orange. More yellow. So for now I'm trying to get nice smooth transition, nice smooth orange semitone. If you feel that you have quite sharp borders between two colors, you can fix it two ways. So you can just add a little bit more paint over here and stroke it smoothly, or you can wet a little bit the edge of your brushes and stroke smoothly the border between these colors. So for now we have kind of transition from yellow to orange to red through orange. For now I wash my brush and I'm going to use blue. I start from the upper part of my canvas, moving my brush quite fast horizontally. So, and I mix this blue to my yellow, getting kind of green. I don't go too much to yellow because I want to have still yellow visible. The same on the bottom part of the canvas because they are like reflection. So if you feel that your brush is too dry again, you feel free to wet it a little bit. But usually acrylic paint does not need to be wetted or does not need to have more water. For now, I wanted to have smooth transition between my yellow and greenish, and I wet the edge of the brush and stripe it, stroke it smoothly, moving my brush a little bit up and down. And still you can see I have still quite sharp border between green and yellow, so I wanted to wash it up a little bit. I wash my brush, I wipe it, and with clean wet brush I just stroke this border, washing this sharpness up. I add more yellow. It helps me to have this smooth transition again. And here also I just come back to yellow over here, overlap with this yellow my blue a little bit more. Yeah, I see for now my yellow disappeared from the bottom part of the canvas. It's not good. I just want to add it. And again, if you feel that your sea or sky or any your picture does not look the same as mine, don't worry, we have different view, we have different skills and different techniques to use, so you just have your version. Usually I don't have two exactly the same pictures all the time. If I do the same reference all the time, I have different one. So, and to get more dramatic to my sky, I want to get a little bit more darkness to the upper and bottom part of my canvas. So we can do this two ways. We can add a little bit red to our blue on the top, getting quite messy violet, dark violet semitone over here, the same on the bottom of the canvas. However, for me, for now, it's not so dark enough as I wanted to have, so I probably add a little bit black. But what I can say, please be careful with black, because these tone is so powerful and just eats every other color. So I just touch a little bit with black, and I go just doing this very top side of my canvas with black a little bit, not too much. You can see I still have blue, I still have dark violet here, but this very nice and narrow blackish stripe helps me to represent nighttime. The same over here. And again, I try to spread it smoothly to have also kind of smooth transition. So to do this border smooth, I washed my brush and wiped it. And with this clean brush, I just stroke the border between black and blue, spreading this darkness smoothly over here. So for now we have quite bright, colorful and dramatic transition of colors. Next step will be adding the mountains, which are quite far away from the viewer, from us. We cannot see some particular shapes, hills, or particular details of the scenery. We just see the overall image of mountains, which are quite dark because they are not highlighted normally well. We have just counter lighting, which means our source of light, I mean the sun, is hidden behind the mountains, somewhere there, and we cannot see details of mountains, just overall image. So to do these mountains, I'm going to use black, but not just black. I grab some amount of blue, put on the side of the canvas, and small amount of black. So I wanted to have, I think it's the same amount, blue and black. So I get kind of very, very dark blue, or probably bluish black. And I load this mixture to my brush. You can use smaller, tiny brush to do fine lines. As for me, I continue to use my brush number 10. I just want to use this with this narrow edge. So, and in the middle of my red, I have here a red stripe about 2 centimeters bright. So in the middle, I'm doing horizontal line. It will be the border between mountain and water. And then I'm going to place several hills over here. The number of hills, it's up to you. You can use any. You can draw 2, 3, 4, 5 mountains here. The main thing is to be sure that all your hills will be of different heights and probably placed differently. I mean, not in the same distance. So to have this irregular placement, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to have higher mountain over here. Probably another one will be here. And something like here. And also I try to keep the valley, like the part between mountains, lower, to have the place and space for my future sun, which will be here. So I have this outline of mountains, and now I color in this inner part of the outlines. Doing this, I keep my brush moving the same direction as mountains are, because exactly the paint itself and the strokes visible on the canvas will help us to see like realistic representation of the mountains. So, and I color in. My bluish black mixing up with paint which already is here on the canvas. Sometimes it is bluish, sometimes black, sometimes a little bit dark violet. It is okay. Exactly, I wanted to have this complex spectrum of colors. So, okay, another one will be here. And I color in the right side of my mountains. So my tip is to keep your objects on your canvas on different distance and of different size. If you have the same objects, it gives you a more natural look for your objects, because the nature, you know, it is not soldier, not army. So the mountains are not soldiers. That's why they can be of different size and height. So at this stage, I think it's done. Yeah, try to color in properly, because your mountains are not translucent, and if you will have kind of holes between the mountains or in the mountains and your background, all this sky, orange and red sky will be visible, it will look a little bit strange, because it looks like your mountains are translucent, but no, they are not translucent. For now, it's time to add more natural look to our landscape. So since it's quite late night or very early morning time before sunrise, I think all these mountains will get kind of shadow, and this shadow comes to the sea, to the water surface. So I already have here blue, mixture of blue and black, and I add a little bit red to have very quiet, very dark violet, messy semitone. So I delete extra paint, and with this brush I continue doing the same, but my paint is not just black. For now it is dark, very dark violet, and with this very dark violet I wanted to add this shadow for my mountains. So you can use a small round brush to do tiny lines over here. I'm continuing with my brush number 10. The only thing I wanted to say, try to keep the length of your, or the size of the shadows proportionally the same as the mountains are. So if we have higher mountain, it means it will have also higher and longer and bigger, massiver shadow, and opposite. Shorter one will have shorter, smaller shadow. So I add these stripes using my brush lightly, gently. I don't press too much, because I don't want to have exactly particular stripes. I just wanted to have some smooth and fuzzy darkness over here. And the same from left side. Just some stripes representing the place where can be more darkness, more shadow. So as you can see, this higher mountain has bigger, longer shadow over here. the closer water is to mountain, the darker it is, so more shadow is it there. I just spread the rest of my paint I have here on the brush. So for now it's done. One detail which we have on the canvas, it is a moon, which placed in right upper corner of the canvas, and it will get us exactly the understanding what time of the day it is or night it is. So to do the moon, I'm going to use exactly my dark blue or violet I have here already mixed. I just want to do the circle. If you are not sure that you can do very round, nice circle, you can trace any or contour any round object over here, like just doing contouring and then coloring. I'm going to use just brush to do this. So I'm gonna have so I mix more blue to my dark violet I already have here, and with this semitone I'm doing circle and coloring. To color in the circle and exactly to highlight the round shape or spheric shape of the moon, it's also good to use semicircle strokes, because exactly the paint itself will give this illusion of spheric shape. Something like here. Don't worry if your circle is not so ideal. It's not a problem, because it is exactly the sky, huge air masses, wind, clouds, some movement of these air masses can be, and exactly it's almost natural to see not just round circle moon but a little bit fuzzy sometimes, or not so clearly seen. After that I washed my brush and I'm going to do the volume. I want to get volume for my moon, so I add a little bit white over here, not too much. I washed my brush, I wipe it, and I wanted to have very sharp edge, and with this sharp edge I just touch the white color, and from left side I add a kind of lighting to my circle, to moon. I didn't go everywhere, overall around the circle, no, only from left side. For now we have kind of highlighting, but then you can wash your brush or just wipe it. I wanted to have smooth transition between this highlighting and inner part, the moon, and I spread a little bit this border to have smooth transition between whitish and darkish. Probably I add more white just on the border, just for contour. And again I spread this inner border between whitish and dark paint, getting smooth surface. So for now I have kind of illusion that my moon is highlighted by the first sun rays. If you feel that your moon or some of your details are not perfect, don't worry about this too much, because acrylic paint dries quite fast, and good thing, if it is not dry enough, you can wash it up, or after drying up you can just add another layer above and fix everything you want to fix. So for now I leave my probably I add more volume, getting more contrast for my moon. Yeah, it's important to have nice sharp edge of the brush to represent exactly small, fine and tiny details. I think it's done. So for now we have sunset, I think. For now we have sunset, yeah. And we can leave it such way, or we can turn our sunset to sunrise. I want to show you the secret how to do this. Yeah, and before we move to magic to turning our sunset to sunrise, I also want to show you how to do starry night, because it's also useful. This technique is useful and very, I don't know, quite often I use it to represent stars or water when we're doing kind of, you know, waves or seascape. So you can use this technique to represent water splashes. So I grab some white and add water over here. Not too much, but still enough to have consistency like liquid paint or colored water. So white water or liquid white paint. So for now I have such consistency, and I load this liquid white to my brush number 10, and I want to do these splatterings over here using just finger. I go with this pattern just on the darkest part of my canvas. So we have nice, very little dots, which represent stars. The same I can do with water, but not everywhere, just on the bottom of my canvas where I have the darkest part of water, and it would be less than on the sky, so just a little bit over here. Most of the splatterings are focused on the upper part of the canvas. So for now it's much more looking as night. So I also can use another secret. I grab the smaller brush, and with back side of my handle of the brush I touch the white paint, and I add some white dots nearby the moon, just several dots somewhere in the sky. Probably these are the brightest stars or any planets. Not too much, just a couple of dots. Okay, I don't go with these bigger stars to the water side, no, just on the sky. So for now it's done, and now it's secret how to do the sunrise. I just wanted to add more lighting using just colors. So I grab some red I have here and white. Or it's better to add this red to the white to have very light pink. I add more white. Just we need to have very light pink, almost white, but not white, pinkish. So, and I load with this pink, with this light pink, I load my brush number 4. And what I'm going to do is exactly to represent illusion of sunrise. I add this pink, more red over here. I add some pink stripes over here to the sky between the mountains, not everywhere, just over here. Yeah, I have some trace of black. Oopsie. Yeah, for now I also can show you how to delete unwanted stuff from your canvas. So you have seen that I spread a little bit my wet black paint. For now, with clean and wet brush, I can delete it from my canvas, just wash it up. So I leave it such way. And with this pink, I also go to the water surface, adding very tiny pinkish stripes exactly opposite the place where the sun will be looking from. Just some stripes. So just some tips about how to do tiny line very accurate. So if you need to do very tiny fine lines, please add a little bit water to your paint, and with this liquid consistency it will be easier to do tiny lines. So some of my stripes are pinkish, some of them are whitish. It is okay because you know that wind can blow and some kind of waves can be on the water surface. That's why the semitones of your stripes can be a little bit different all the time. So, and the main object which shows exactly that it is sunrise is the sun. I'm gonna add just one dot of white to represent the sun which is rising. I washed my brush number 4, wipe it, and touch a little bit white. And with this white, I do kind of small dot or couple of touches over here. For now, we have illusion of the sun which started to rise. I can do it a little bit smoother, washing up a little bit. And with this whitish, with the rest of the whitish semitone, I also can go up a little bit higher. So having nice smooth transition. But it is still not finished. To have more natural illusion of the sunrise, I also can add some sunshine to mountains. So since the sun is quite high for now and we can see it, the rays of sun comes also through mountains and highlight them. What can I do? I just do another portion of pink, and with pink I'm going to highlight the mountains, the hillsides, the mountains, exactly from the side where the sun is visible. For my 3 mountains which are on the left side, it will be right hillsides. From this one, it will be left hillside. So I just grab some pink, and on the tops and sides of my mountains, I just add these pinkish stripes or strokes. I can also split this huge darkness also using these stripes, and it will give illusion that I have another hills over here. So I highlighted it a little bit. I can add more brightness over here. But while my pinkish hillsides are wet, I'm gonna do more smooth touches of this pinkish. I just try to spread it, not to have sharp borders. So I just move my brush in the same direction, spreading this border of pinkish smoothly. So these touches of the brush again help us to highlight some objects which were in darkness before, but for now we can, highlighting them, we can exactly show that it is not just absolute darkness. It's also kind of reflection of sunrise in landscape or water surface or everywhere. So almost done. So as you can see, the brightest and most highlighted part of mountains are exactly tops of the mountains and top sides of hillsides, but the lower they are, the darker they are. So the most of our pinkish is exactly on the top side of the hills. I can also play a little bit with paint. I have my lilac here or dark blue. I also can add a little bit darkness or interesting transitions and semitones of this paint. I can add it to my mountains. If you want, you can also add them, because the complex your colors are, the interesting it is for the viewer to observe your pictures, because they look exactly more natural, sometimes unexpected, sometimes very different, but anyway they help you to represent your view and your feelings of nature. So I think at this stage we are ready. We still have kind of fuzzy pinkish sky. I just want to add a little bit of spread, a little bit this pinkish over here. I don't cover with pinkish everything. Still my yellow, my green, and my orange is also visible over here. But adding it probably will get more brightness. I also can play with this water surface after adding pinkish stripes. I can also add whitish a little bit. If I add this whitish, it exactly gives more contrast and illusion of sunrise. So for now it's done. See you next time.